Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at today's community Pokemon Cinderace with the new move PYRO BALL, also as a shiny in the Great League. Why Great League? Great League is currently not available. You can't currently play this league itself. So we have some test battles here against the community. And the reason why I choose to rather run in the Great League compared to the Ultra League is because Pokemon like this one that we're going to take a look at today here, like the Cinderace, perform always better in the Great League. The reason is here, this is a glass cannon. We're going to have a glass cannon here in Cinderace. This Pokemon doesn't have a lot of bulk. It does not even have the best pacing. It has a very strong charge moves. And this is where the Great League is so important. By the way, this was a crazy battle as well. Diggersby, we are running Diggersby with a return here today. I want to make a video towards this Pokemon anyway still. Like, definitely stay tuned for when Great League is back for this channel. Diggersby with return is going to be there because of the Mudshot buff, and this Pokemon is now generating energy faster again. It's so much better. Like, this Pokemon was insane. It was my favorite Pokemon to use of this team. Like, no doubt about that. Like, literally by far my favorite Pokemon. But yeah, but generally speaking here, Cinderace itself is just going to be better in the Great League because of the low amount of bulk that you have. So Pokemon like this one, here we have some nice fast move pressure still. Like, Fire Spin is not the worst fast move. It's not the best, by far not even the best fire type fast move ever, as well as Incinerate are both way better. It's still doing some solid damage, and in a manner like this one, it's just adding up. And here we see in the first battle already the animation for PYRO BALL, which is quite fun, especially if you can one-shot a Scissor. And this team has some flaws. Why? Because we're running a triple bunny team. If anybody knows that before I said it, shouts to you. Maybe I have it actually in the title. Who knows? Most likely gonna do it there. But we have a Zumroll as a bunny. We're going to have the Diggersby here as well as a little bunny, and then we're going to have the Cinderace here as well. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting theme team here. Of course, I already had like the core of a Zumroll as well as the Cinderace, which I wanted to run. So like for me, just like, okay, what Pokemon can I use as a safe swap? And I had the option for Diggersby, so it just made sense just because on, yeah, Triple Bunny Day. Of course, also Scorbunny does make a lot of sense. We soon have Easter, I guess. Could have been even next month, would have made more sense for that community day there. But here we are going to be able to showcase again a PYRO BALL against the opponent's Drapion. We're going to get the shield here on the first one, but here you see again why I think that Cinderace is so much better in this meta. It's just because you do so much more fast move damage. You see it here already, Fire Spin is chunking away the health of the opponent. We knock out another Pokemon, and I found, weirdly enough, quite a lot of Quagsire today. Like, Quagsire was absolutely everywhere for the Open Great League. It's not a bad Pokemon, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying that Quagsire is a bad Pokemon, but the last time I played the Open Great League, I haven't really encountered this Pokemon too much. It's very likely just back with the recent Mudshot buff. Like, it's definitely, it was a strong Pokemon before as well. But now we are in a position where we are quite an awkward place, basically. We don't have the best answers on this team here to the Jellicent, which we see here already as well. We don't have great charge move coverage generally. We have only Play Rough as the only move here that's not going to be resisted. But luckily, they're not running the charge move of Awkward Tail, which now allows me to still reach that return somehow. And this return is going to hit the opponent super hard, allowing us to farm it down with Cinderace, and we can move on to the next opponent. You know what's kind of funny? This battle here, because we are encountering the Shadow Thundurus. Shadow Thundurus is actually not that bad in the Great League. I made a video towards the Pokemon as well. But the thing is as well, towards this Pokemon itself is we would have answers for everything kind of individually, because it has Fire type coverage and Brick Break, where we would have the fast, like the lead that would be resisting it. It has Astonish as well as Electric type damage, which is going to be double resist from the Diggersby, but like getting the damage onto the right Pokemon is just a tough one here. I wasn't able to catch the move here correctly. That was kind of unfortunate, but it can hit another return. And honestly, return Diggersby is amazing. Look at this. Look at the damage output of this Pokemon. It's crazy. Like, people are not really expecting it. It's such a interesting Pokemon. I definitely will make another video towards this thing here for sure. I can catch the move, which is quite important in order to try and knock them out here. But what I want to say is I actually went insanely positive with this team. Like, of course, it is test battles. I don't know which elo range the players are them up against. A lot of the players that I went up against, by the way, I actually knew still. So, like, I knew that they were very solid players. But Of course, it's not going to be like the Open Great League where I'm at my 2000, close to 2,500. I'm currently in my Elo range. I would be one set away from getting up to 2,500. I might be able to still hit it today. Would be a cool video for tomorrow. We have to see. But I'm very close basically there. And I would, of course, have like top players the entire time there. But right now, I don't know on what Elo range they are. We have a lot of fun teams here against us as well today. But generally speaking, I want to win basically maybe half of my battles with Cinderace. And it turned out that I won basically 80-90% of my battles, which I'm very happy with. This was one of them that I lost though. And the next battle was honestly, I think that was my favorite one maybe, because it's so hopeless. This team is not designed to deal with the Shadow Swampert, as Shadow Swampert has coverage that's super effective against our entire team. And my only Pokemon that is really solid against it is going to be our Azumarill here. But then again, they have Sludge Bomb as well. Like, it's not really ideal. Like, we really don't have a great answer for this Pokemon. As like Sludge, it's not Sludge Bomb, it's just Sludge. And I'm actually underestimating the damage of Sludge. And so we actually would get two-shotted from this move. So I'm forced to swap out of here. I have my Diggersby, and they play that quite safe here, going to the Empoleon, which is, generally speaking, not bad. Fire Punch is coming in, but they know that we don't have Scorching Sands, and so they're not going to even use a shield here. The Hydro Cannon is coming through. That is going to be a bit awkward, as I'm going to be able to reach another Fire Punch. I need to try to catch a move here in order to have a chance of coming back from this battle. Luckily, I am going to be able to do that. So the Azumarill is going to go down here from the Hydro Cannon. And now I would need to farm them down with a Cinderace. I wait out the clock, so I can hopefully swap out eventually. I can fully farm on the Empoleon, and I have energy on 2 of my Pokemon. But we know there is still the Swampert, which we are very weak against, and they go into the Charizard. So it's a triple starter team against us. We have, here one starter on our side with the Cinderace. We can take one Air Cutter, and now we are going to be able to go for another charge move. This is going to be the Pyro Ball, and it's going to get shielded. Pyro Ball is, by the way, an amazing charge attack. It's 40 energy, I think, for 75 damage, which is absolutely fantastic. But Blast Burn is still the harder hitting move, which you will see here as well. 110 damage for 50, and we can knock them out here, and still, while we get hard walled the entire time, we're going to be able to perfectly get to that return to knock out that Swampert for ourselves, and we can move on to the next opponent. Okay, that was a little bit of a meme opponent now coming up. Now, this is going to be, I think it's most likely a Shando Gible purified there, which is kind of cool because Gible got buffed quite significantly this season. Gible got access to got buffed with Mudshot, but also has access to Twister already, which is one of the strongest moves currently in the game. Like 70 damage for 40 energy, so it's basically 5 less damage than Pyro Ball, but on a Dragon type Pokemon, and just generally considered the better move because Cinderace is not really that great. This is the thing as well. Cinderace has the potential to be good in the future. And it just needs a better fast move, basically. And I could even see that you would want to drop Blast Burn on Cinderace, by the way, as well. And rather just go for Pyro Ball and then go for Focus Blast as your coverage move in order to hit other types that are resisting the fire typing from ourselves, which would be mostly a very interesting play as well. Here, Twister's coming through. Gible against us. We're going to try our best to go for another Ice Beam. But as you see as well, the opponent is going to get to another charge move, which is going to be the return. Doing actually quite some solid damage, and they can catch the move onto the Spinda. I have a lot of times recently, by the way, where fast moves are just sneaking through, which I don't really enjoy too much. But here we are going to be able to go for the Pyro Ball against the opponent. This is going to be great. This is going to allow us to knock them out. And now it's only going to be Gible against the rest of our team. Of course, the opponent has a very interesting fully XL team there as well. It was fun to play against you. But as you see here, Pyro Ball is going to be able to come through as well. We're going to kick that ball against that Gible, getting the shield from them. But we're getting them so low just with the fast move damage. And this is why I mean that this Pokemon is so much better in the current Great League format compared to, like, for example, an Ultra League format, because of it being basically just a Glass Cannon. Glass Cannons are always better than Great League because the level of bulk is just lower, which allows it to shine way more as a Glass Cannon. So here we're going to have the Dusknoir against us. So we're going to have the Ice Beam coming through from our Azumarill, and this is going to be interesting. as I should hopefully still be able to survive another hit. But the opponent catches the move here onto the Lapras. Double resisted hit. I'm gonna do no damage with this, and they're in a very solid position. But I have Cinderace, and I know that I should be able to outspeed them kind of, like get that to my move at the same time. But they are weirdly enough just going for an overcharge. And if I went for a Blast Burn, this Pokemon would have been gone, by the way. Or I would have not seen anything else there. I should have just went for it, but at least I can still utilize this as a fast move down, trying to get to another charge move here. And in comes again that Dusknoir, allowing us to go for another Pyro Ball, and they're going to let the move go down again there. And now it's only going to be the Starmie in the back. And I should have just went for a Pyro Ball, but I sub out and keep the move, which is a mistake at the end of the day. But luckily, they're forced to still go for another charge move here. This game is going to be closer than I wanted it to be. Why it's a mistake? You're going to see it in another battle later on as well. There was a time where I had a charge move stored already on my Pokemon, on my Cinderace, and I want to go for a charge move against them, and I didn't get it through because they had a 110 fast move against us. Here it's a 110 fast move in the Psywave, and that can be very scary. Very scary can be also a Shadow's super effective Surf, but against the Diggersby, it's just barely not enough. And in comes our Fire Punch, which is going to be enough to knock them out. And we can now move on to the next one. So, well, let's take a look here. We're going to have the Altaria. I think that might be the battle, but we have to see. They're going to swap out into the Celio. Okay, that is going to be a bit interesting. I'm going to try to get them lower. I'm going to try to get them into a position where we can go for the fast move down with the Cinderace. We're going to be able to now use a shield against them. It is going to be the Surf coming through, and we're going to try our best to go for a Pyro Ball. This is perfect. This is going to allow us to get the shield from them, but we have to go for the full farm down and hope they go for another Surf, because if they go for a Body Slam, it might just be enough for them to reach another charge move, but they stop out into the Altaria and they still get another move off. And so I thought I would be clever and just store a Pyro Ball and swap onto my Azumarill. And now I still have that stored. I can go for a charge move against whenever I needed to, basically. But we have to see on how things going to be here, as we have the Ice Beam coming through against the Altaria. This is going to allow us to get the final shield from the opponent, but we're in a very tough position because they can stop out very, very soon, and then we are in big trouble because now the Corviknight comes in. And here I was thinking, okay, I can go for the Ice Beam, weaken it a bit, Pyro Ball, one-shot them. I don't get the move off. And now I am screwed. Like, I have no chance of winning this battle anymore. If I landed the move, the game would have been an absolute different game, because none of the damage that's happening now against the Diggersby would ever go up against us. And so, yeah, we are not in a great spot. We are not in a great spot. We can go for a double Fire Punch here. Okay, we can knock them out still, but we are way lower than what we needed to be at. And so, yeah, now Altaria comes in. Great. I should have mostly even stopped out earlier, but I'm going to try to catch the move onto the Azumarill, knowing that I'm not going to ever get to an Ice Beam here against him anyways. So, like, I was just, okay, I sacrificed the Pokemon. I can still go for the return, though, which is doing some nice stab damage. Return of a very hard-hitting move. 130 damage for 70 energy as far as I know, which is strong. It's not, like, broken by any means. At the end of the day, it's 20 more damage for 20 more energy compared to Blast Burn, which is not a great deal. But it is doing some nice damage there, but sadly I still don't have the Celio on the back, and we're gonna lose by only a few HP. Good game there. If we got the charge move off, I would have definitely won, I think. Alright, final battle. Again, by the way, if you want to support the channel, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoy the video. If you're still here at this point of time, then you're one of the few. So thanks so much for watching. And hopefully you had a great, or you're gonna have a great community day, because I was a bit, like, I wasn't really expecting a lot from Cinderace, and I feel like they actually did a great job at trying to at least give this Pokemon a bit of play, and now they just need another fast move, and they most likely gonna give this Pokemon even more play in the future. So, like, it's at least interesting. Like, I do think it's at least interesting to see on what this Pokemon can do, and let's see what this Pokemon can do in the final battle here for today. We have the Guzzlord against us, and here I want to see how much damage does this move do against us? Because we might be able to go up to 2 Pyro Balls, and yes, we can. We gotta get 2 Pyro Balls off against the Guzzlord, and yes, it's resisted, and yes, we're going to be very weak against the Pokemon generally, but we're gonna be able to get 2 of them off, and now I might be able to reach another shield here. I'm gonna get a shield from the opponent. I can go to the Diggersby, they go for their own charge move, and they can just store up energy. If I had Quick Attack, I would get them a little bit lower, which would have been great, because it would have allowed us to put them into range for the Fire Punch. But I don't. I have the Mud Shot, which is generating more energy, but it's a bit more awkward. I can catch the move onto the Azumarill. Yeah, basically getting rid of this Pokemon fully. They are going to even undercharge. And they go to the Jellicent, allowing me to go for the full farm down, giving me a ton of energy. Basically, the most amount of energy possible. In comes the Clefable, but we are in a bit of a tough spot. What we have to do is we have to get rid of the Clefable, but also still get rid of the Guslord. But we have to be very mindful of our energy. They have Meteor Mush, which only needs 5 fast moves. I have the Fire Punch, which only needs 5 fast moves. And if I actually went for the charge move 1 fast move earlier, I would have knocked them out here. But I thought I would need to overfarm. They were ready to go for the charge move anyway. I would have knocked them out here and had still a shield left. And that shield would have changed basically everything, because what we will see now is that this Fire Punch is barely not enough to knock them out. They're going to knock us out, and this is going to be it for this video. I had a great time with this team. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to like, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.